Please be advised that we are speaking in our own individual capacities and not representing any companies we may work for. We are not your lawyers, and any information given during this podcast does not constitute as legal advice and is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Enjoy the episode.
Hi guys, I'm Katie.
And I'm Nicole.
And welcome back to Girls Gone Legal. Hello guys, welcome back to episode 5.
Episode 5. I can't believe we're on like the 5th episode.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's flying by.
It is flying by. We
been
started
5
this
weeks.
in August.
It's been 5 weeks. Oh my gosh, it's October!
And it's October.
Happy October. Is it fall for you yet? Do you feel like it's fall?
Yeah.
Do you?
It felt so chilly today. I walked
Today's the
outside
first
and I
day.
was like, it's fall.
I had to put a coat on. Well, like a sweater, but like still.
Yeah,
I
it was
shocked.
cold.
I know, I went to the gym this morning and I went outside and I was like,
Yeah, no, it's definitely like jacket season very, very soon.
I know, but it's hard to accept. Like, I still want to have like my summer candles lit and like,
I know.
I don't want, it's not pumpkin spice season yet. It is, I guess.
I only have hot chocolate, not pumpkin spice.
Fair. That is a very fall drink too. I feel like hot chocolate's a little more like Christmas now.
I guess.
Gives me Christmas vibes.
So from Starbucks, what I have is hot chocolate in the cold months.
Yeah.
And then a mocha cookie crumble frappuccino.
Okay.
In the warm months.
Okay. Nicole's
so like
different
right now
choice.
I'm like in that in between and it's throwing me off.
Of like, what do I have? It's like if it's chilly enough, then I get a hot chocolate. If
Yeah.
It's, fair. Like that. I'm an iced coffee no matter what the weather is. So.
Ooh, okay.
So this week is a continuation of last week. We talked with Kayla all about burnout. So
Yes.
we are gonna continue on that. I think it's like such an important topic and talk a little bit about our experiences with it and a little bit tips and tricks and go back to our good old day 1 episode and just have me and Nicole chit chatting.
Yeah. I think we can both agree that we both do 500 things at once. So burnout is
I think
really
we're
huge
good
with us.
We're good people to talk about burnout because our schedule is like slightly scary.
Yeah.
Slightly scary. But so yeah, we're just gonna get on into it. But yeah, I mean Nicole, you take it away. Kind of what do you have you been experiencing burnout? How's your life been right now?
So right now I actually feel like I'm burning out. So this is a perfect episode for this week.
That's actually one of the reasons, sorry to interrupt, but that's one of the reasons we said, you know what, no guests this week. Like, we're both so busy. We're like, you know what, let's just sit, debrief, and like talk to you guys, talk to each other, and have like, take it for what it is. We're feeling a little burnt out. We're going to talk about burnout, and we're just going to keep it like as candid and as like chill as we can this week. It's October. This is when it starts to hit. Weather gets cold.
It's my favorite month.
Is it birthday month?
Birthday month.
Halloween,
baby.
Yeah.
My favorite month of the fall.
Yeah.
I like October
Favorite
and
month
then
of the fall.
December.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're really close together, but it's okay. Holidays is hard to not love, but I just think it's a perfect time for us to talk about this because we're both feeling that. But you take it away. You start us off.
So right now, I think in my 25 years of life, I've never been so busy before. And I'm just like running around doing 500 things.
Does burnout feel different now that you're working?
It does.
Really?
It's a different type of burnout, 100% than law school.
Interesting.
Like law school, I would get tired and just like have to get myself back on track. But now I'm like working 24/7.
Yeah.
So I don't really get a break after class or just like 10 minutes to myself. It's constant go, go, go. And I have that little bit of time after work.
Yeah.
And I'm still going.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the next day already. And I'm back at work. So it is definitely a different type of burnout than being in law school. But it's all good. It's all things that I want to do.
Yeah.
But I am still learning how to like navigate that myself.
Yeah. I feel like too, when you're burning out, like when it's a work-based burnout, it's a little bit different because I'm in school still, but I'm currently working right now, part-time hours for the law firm. But it's almost like for school with burnout, I was better at taking a step back to be like, okay, I'm burning out. Like I'm gonna accept the fact that I'm not gonna read that case for tomorrow because I need a minute to myself. But if it's for work, it's like I can't just not do an assignment for a client. Like that's a mandate. There's people relying on me, other people. That's not just me and my grades.
Yeah.
So then it's not like it's a different kind. It feels different, you know.
It does feel different, and you can't get away with it as much as you may be able to in law school.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely learning how to navigate it. So I started writing down like tips for myself, and I think this is a good like trick if you're listening to this right now and you feel like you're burning out. Write down some things and goals that you want to set for yourself. So some of the things I was thinking of and wrote down is like take breaks. Remember, you're human. Take a break. don't push yourself, because it also will start affecting what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so like you might not be performing as well because you're burning out,
Yeah.
and you feel yourself burning out. So
Yeah.
make sure you find the time to take a break. I think a huge thing in law school, I don't know if you can agree with this, but in law school, I would never say no to anything. Like, someone asked me to do something, I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I was all over. And I had to start setting boundaries for myself. And even
Yeah.
some of my law school friends were like, Nicole, slow down.
Yeah.
Like, learn, like, you can say no. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to go to everything, see everybody, do everything. And, like, over time, I learned that.
Yeah, and I think some of those boundaries too are not what people might assume, right? It's not the boundaries that are just like, oh, I can't go out on that Friday night. It's more, there's more to it than that, right? Like, sometimes it's truly like, oh, like, yes, I do really want to go to this panel and it would be beneficial for my career and for my life, but do I have it in me right now? Like, sometimes the answer is just no. Like, even like for me, Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up, and because I'm going to school in the US, obviously we don't have the time off school, so I have to decide, am I going to go home for the Thanksgiving? Am I going to celebrate? But because it doesn't work with the school schedule, I have a midterm on the following Monday after our Canadian Thanksgiving. So, and although I would have loved to spend time with my family and go back to Canada, I have to just accept the fact that that might be my last. That might be the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, that might actually burn me out completely. So, even though they're not fun boundaries, like, I'm not sacrificing fun things. It's something that you have to do. And honestly, sometimes you have to communicate with your family and with your friends and with your loved ones that
100%.
I need to draw that line because I have 3 years of crunch time and we're in that. So.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And that's another thing. Like, set your boundaries with your friends, your family. Like, not everyone's going through different things.
Yeah.
So, like, I have a lot of friends that are, like, in PA school or, like, speech pathology school. I'm in law school.
Yeah.
Was in law school at the time. And, like, we're all going through different experiences. And everyone needs to do what's best for them. And, like, they'll still be your best friends.
Yeah.
But make sure you set those boundaries and, like, learn how... what it takes to take care of yourself,
yeah,
and not to overrun yourself, I
100%.
think is really huge, and like have that balance. I mean, just in like the past few months, I've done so many things, and like each day I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so tired. I need to just sit down, and like just think about life for a second. Sometimes you're so on the move, like all within like a month or two, it was like I took the bar exam, I traveled like internationally, I moved into a new apartment, we started our podcast, I started a new job.
It's like a lot at once.
It's a lot at once. It's all good things, and it's a lot of change, but it's really good. But sometimes I just need to sit and be like, wow, okay, like I'm doing a lot of good things. Let me just think about like my life for a second, and just relax. Your body needs that. Like I feel my body like 100%. Getting weak and like going down. I'm like, I need to like chill.
To recover out of burnout, I guess, or like to pull yourself out of that, it doesn't take like stopping everything in the world. Like sometimes all it takes to like pull yourself out of that burnout is like one thing. And that kind of like segues into like my point of having like a happy list, or having like a list of things in your head, or writing them down of like, these things I don't have to use my brain, I can just relax, it's my happy list, I get to do like whatever I want. And those things on that list pull me out of my burnout. So for me lately, it's been really random. Watercolor painting, like love doing it. I get to turn my brain off. It's amazing. I love it. I'll show you them later. They're over there. But it's like I get to turn my brain off and not worry about anything and just sit there and mindlessly do it. Because for me, if I do that for like an hour, I feel great, and I can go and do work again, and I've like reset my burnout. Or like in the summer, it was like going downstairs. If you don't know, me and Nicole live in the same apartment, but we go sitting by the pool. Like sometimes just like tanning for an hour, like something like that, getting the sun on me. Like all of a sudden I'm revived in my burnout. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I did something for myself today. Like I'm ready to get back into it. It doesn't take like this huge extravagant thing to pull yourself out of it. Sometimes you just need to take like reflect. The way you were explaining it, like reflect basically. Like
reflect.
Take a
just
minute
think
for
about
yourself.
life for a sec.
Yeah.
Like I started watching reality TV, and I don't like reality TV at all. Like I've never watched reality TV in my life. But I was like, you know what? Like, I need to do something to help me just, like, relax and turn my brain off for a second. Because I don't know if you ever feel like this, because you're on the move so much, too. Like, I feel like I don't know how to relax. Like, I get a second to relax, and I'm like, I got to be doing something. Like, I can't. It's not right if I'm just sitting here. And it's like, no, you need to sit down and relax.
Don't feel guilty for taking the time, because if you don't take the time, when you do spend your time on doing work, it's not going to be as productive. If your brain isn't completely clear. So, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Oh my gosh. I have a TikTok that I wanted to show you.
Oh, let me see it. I want to see it.
Okay, wait. I'll give you the background. The reason I thought about this and saw this TikTok is because my other tip for how to get rid of burnout, or like how to avoid burnout specifically in law school, is finding fun ways to study. So like, I know you've probably experienced it. It's definitely gonna happen more during midterms and finals, but like that, oh my God, I can't read the stinking outline one more time. Like my brain, it's just like at some point it's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I need to stop. So this is a fun way to study. So funny enough, I am a very big like audible learner.
Okay.
Like I like sound.
To hear it.
Yeah, I like to hear it.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest things was with my boyfriend living in Philly, it meant I was a lot of the times doing like an hour and a half drive. And I was always thinking, okay, how can I maximize the hour and a half? So what I started doing is using this platform, whatever it would be, this software, I guess, called Speechify, which would just read me my textbooks to me or read me my readings to me. So I would like get ahead on stuff just because I'm listening to it in the car.
Yeah.
Then I saw this TikTok. Okay, we'll play it here, but I'm gonna show.
And the thief was driving.
No. That is absolutely crazy. I'm in shock. This is about to change studying for honestly the entire world. So someone in my like law school group chat sent in a TikTok that apparently there's some like medical student that has been using this new website from Google. It's called Notebook, and it turns in whatever PDF you send to like a 2-person podcast. I just put in my outline for my midterms, and it has made a 10-minute podcast. You need to hear this because it's actually like, I'm in shock that we can do this, like that technology has gotten to this point. This is absolutely crazy. I'm gonna play just like a few seconds of it. Okay.
Right, because we're diving into tort law today.
Yep, tort law. Those legal battles that happen when, well, someone claims they've been harmed by someone else's actions. Or sometimes even their inactions.
It's true.
Wow,
Isn't that
that
crazy?
is so crazy.
Okay,
I
so-
wish I knew that in law school. That would have helped me so much.
I'm literally, okay, so this is called Notebook LM. So basically it's like a AI software where you can put in a document and it turns the document into a podcast. And
That's
the way
insane.
that would have made, like, I'm going to
Yeah.
be using that. So my plan is putting in like my fully finished outline, and it's literally gonna read it to you. And for me, it's gonna change the way, oh my God, I am like so passionate about this and think this is so cool that technology can do this right now, because the fact that you don't have to do that extra legwork of like turning it into a script, like no, it's literally gonna spit this podcast out for you to just sit and mindlessly listen to. Like you can do that watercolor painting or those tanning or going on a drive, whatever it may be, and listen to this podcast, and like it will start sticking. Like it will for sure start sticking. So I'm so excited. I think that's like
that's crazy. I wish I had that in law school. That would have made such a big difference. Just walking like to class,
or even like
walking to home. Like
I wonder if we could put like for work, like even now, like can I put a brief in? Can you put it like, you know what I mean? Like it just
to
makes
prep
things
yourself.
like oh my gosh, isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll link that below. But like I think that's gonna be game changer.
That's gonna be game changer.
'Cause it's not even gonna feel like you're studying.
No,
Like
just listening.
Did you ever like study with friends and you just like talk on FaceTime and like talk about? And it was the best way to study.
Wait, that's what I was actually gonna say.
For you? I'll take that.
I was actually gonna just say that while we were talking. I was like, wait, I'm thinking listening to things and hearing someone say it to you.
Yeah.
It helps you memorize so much more. So like we just said, me and my friends would always talk it out, and talking it out and hearing it out loud, I was like, wow, like I remember that. And then I'd be like taking my exam
and you'd remember
I'd
the
be like,
conversation.
Oh, I remember the conversation. We were all like talking about this. So to be listening to something now, like
you like don't
turning
need
an outline
that
into a
other person.
podcast. No, now you just like can do it at your own like pace whenever you want at your own time, and that's gonna help you study and memorize a lot.
I'm so excited. Honestly, funny enough. So that also made me think of another way, like another fun way to study is sometimes if I didn't have like another law school person to talk to, or sometimes I just didn't want to. Like sometimes you don't want to talk to another person in your class about it.
Yeah.
I would teach it to my mom.
Yeah.
Because like it's
You actually
actually
do that.
you look at someone who knows nothing about what you're talking about and you try to teach it to them, and if you can teach it to them, you know it.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna ask the same questions that you were thinking about the same first time you learned it, and hopefully if you've learned it right, you can answer it for them. So it's like a fun way of doing it, but sometimes you don't have someone like that at your disposal. So this Notebook LM.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Huge.
Yeah,
That is going to be huge.
As soon as I saw it,
wish
I
I
like
had
saved
that.
it. I was like, Girls Gone Legal, you guys need to hear about this. It's so cool.
That's gonna help. If you're listening to this, I would get on that right now.
Yeah. All right, this one's really important.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So the next thing we want to talk about is having a healthy routine.
Yes.
Which sometimes I'm guilty of, not having a healthy routine, and I need to work on that. So the first thing is admitting to yourself.
Yeah, you have to admit that you're
Start
not.
admitting
Yeah.
to yourself.
And not just, you know what? Fun fact to that. This is very weird. I was thinking about this in bed last night because I always like to be like, oh, I'm such a morning person.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Like, I have to admit it to
Yeah.
myself. Like, I'm not a morning person. Like, I
Yeah.
want to be, but like, as many times I'm going to set that alarm on a Saturday morning to get up and start studying at 8 a.m. No, I'm not. Like, I just won't be doing it. So that's funny to say admit it to yourself because, like, it's true. You have to be honest and realize, like, what your routine is going to be and what is going to be productive. Because for me, I had to admit that I'm not going to be a morning person unless I have to. So what does that mean for me? Book an 8 a.m. gym class. Because I'll tell you one thing. If I pay for a gym class and if I pay for a solid core or a soul cycle, I'm going in the middle of the class. So it's like, at least then it gets me out of the house. I'm there for that class. And then I'm already awake. So I might as well start studying early.
Yeah.
So admitting to yourself, that's a great point.
Can I tell you what I used to do?
Yeah.
I got a membership to Dry Bar. It's a hair salon in the city. And I would make my appointments. Also, it was very dangerous. It was right across from the law school.
Oh,
it was Starbucks
yeah.
and
I did
Dry
go there a
Bar.
couple
And I was like,
times.
this is dangerous. So I would book an appointment at 7 a.m. at Dry Bar so that I was at the school by like 8 a.m. I would get my hair done in the morning.
You do what you got to do.
And then, but it would get me up.
Yeah,
Like, it would get me up.
That was
Did I
me
need
this
my hair
morning.
done?
No, but you know what?
But, like, it would get me up in the morning. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is good because I didn't want to miss the hair appointment.
Yeah. Oh, that was me this morning. I was laying in bed. I didn't have to be at class till 2, so I was laying in bed. I'm like, I really don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
But I had to go to my 8 a.m. Pilates class, so I got out of bed.
Yeah. Something to just get you up and, like, going for the day. Whether that's, you know, you have your cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
You listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, just little things like that is
and the
really
routine
helpful.
is like, it's when you say healthy routine, it's similar to the way I always think is look good, play good, feel good. No,
Of course.
feel good, look good, feel good, play good. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, that means like to be productive studying, I have to work out. I need to move my body. I
Yes.
need to like. It sounds so silly, but like for me, it meant putting makeup on, putting a cute outfit on, and going to the library and studying because like you almost at that point owe it to yourself to put good work forward because you went in looking good, feeling good, ready to go.
Yeah. There's going to be days where you're like, I just want to be in like sweatpants today.
For sure.
But then there's some days where it's like, you want to be in sweatpants, but like get yourself up, like put your hair to get like, what do you throw it up or leave it down? Like just get yourself together, whether you want to put makeup on or not, just whatever it takes to feel good for the day.
100%.
Like put jeans on, whatever it takes to get yourself out the door feeling good and not like sluggish all day.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really
100%.
important.
Because like it's easy to get in the routine of like, oh my god, I'm wearing a big sweatshirt and track pants and I don't really care, and I go in and like by day 3 of doing that, that's not going to make you want to study.
No.
Like it's not. Sometimes you need to like, okay, it's an everything shower kind of day. I'm going to put on a cute outfit and I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get my cute little Starbucks drink. I'm going to that's what it is really. It's romanticizing that process so you don't get burned out. Because let's be honest, everyone is going to get burned out when you're studying like 6-7 days a week. Like that's very common. But if you
100%.
romanticize it, like, oh, it's so cute. We're going to go to a cute coffee shop. I'm going to put my headphones on. I'm going to do work and I feel great about myself. Perfect.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. My mood, when I would get ready for the day, my mood would change 100%. Like, I would want to participate in class more, like when I was just ready for the day, except the days like that I would wake up and roll out of bed and run to class. And I'm like, oh my gosh, class is starting right now. And I overslept because I was studying all night. Like, those days I was just like shot. I was dead. I don't want to talk to anyone. So it really makes a big difference.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think like overall just staying in some kind of healthy routine, like when one thing starts to slip, they all start to slip realistically.
Yeah.
So that's
also like eat healthy. This is another thing I'm very guilty of, and I have to start working on this myself. See, it's hard for me to admit it. I do not eat healthy at all, which is really bad because it affects your mood.
Yeah.
Like you should have like healthy things in the morning to get your energy up, to get yourself feeling good. Like I would want to have a Coca-Cola in the morning and I'm like, this is not a good start to the day. I'm dehydrated. Like you have to start like eating the right way and like making yourself feel good in that way too. Not only, physically, well no, not only
mentally,
appearance, but also like within your own your body.
Yes,
yeah,
100%. It's the same
That's what I'm
aspect
trying
of
to
like
say.
look good, feel good, play good in any way possible. And I think it's just
100%.
like I don't know. And on that note, honestly, one thing, and this is where I'll admit it, I'm terrible at it. You gotta get sleep.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you do, as much as like, and there's gonna be days because you're gonna be like you said up late studying, but like at the end of the day, I study, I don't know if you're everyone knows. You will mentally be able to perform better when you sleep, when you have more sleep. So
Yeah.
a lot of times it means you don't have the luxury of sleeping in, so you have to make that sacrifice, and you're going to bed at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Like, if you need to do it that way, do it that way, because you'll be way more productive when you're not falling asleep while you're trying to study. And, like, as much as, yes, drink your caffeine, I know we all do, but sleep is so important.
So important.
Take some gummies, take sleep melatonin gummies.
Yes, if you need to like sleep. And also another big thing is, and I learned this the hard way while I was studying for the bar, was get off your phone before you're like, when you're trying to fall asleep. Because the screen, like the brightness of the screen, like will hurt your eyes, and then it was like messing up my sleep.
Yeah.
And I actually had gotten rid of like all my social media when I was studying for the bar. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to do that like in law school, but whatever it takes to help you like get through like a rough period. So like I was studying so much, and then I was on my phone, and it was just my eyes were hurting, and I couldn't sleep at night, and I was like, what do I need to do? And I was like, let me delete my social media so I'm not tempted to scroll, because you know we can find ourselves scrolling for hours just aimlessly like at nothing, and then all of a sudden now I'm not sleeping. So I think that's another way to get into a healthy routine, is like maybe put your phone to the side at night before you go to bed.
Honestly, speaking about phones, 'cause I thought you were going to talk about while you're studying. My trick so we talked about this earlier, because you're like, why do you have all these videos? Because when I study, I'm addicted to my phone. So what I do is I put my phone like up on my, like usually like up on my laptop, and I do a time-lapse video of me studying. Because when I'm doing a time-lapse video, I can't touch my phone because it's recording.
That's smart.
And then it's just like fun to look back to be like, oh my god, look how much I did today. And it's like, it's silly, but it makes me not touch my phone.
No, that
like, I'm not
helps a
going
lot.
to mess up the video. So
because I would find myself like studying and then looking at my phone.
Yeah.
And studying for 3 more minutes and then looking at my phone for 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, I have a cute little game.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Hit me.
This is like all surrounding burnout. Or like, I don't know, everything we talked about today. Well, you kind of already answered this one. Okay. Are you a late night crammer or early morning studier?
Late night crammer.
Me as well. Are you a library study or study at home?
You know, this is something good. We should talk about this for a second. So I've had a lot of friends that have done both, like studied at home or went to the library.
Yeah.
For myself, I had to go to the library because I needed to separate home and school.
What about do you just have to separate, like, do you just have to leave your house, or does it have to be the library? Because I'm like that, but I'm a coffee shop girl.
See, I'm not a coffee shop girl.
Too much
There's
distraction.
too many things going on. I'm about to be like,
okay,
what is this person doing?
Do you want to know why I'm a coffee shop girl?
Why?
Because when I'm in a cubicle at the library, no one's looking at me. And next thing I know, I'm on Zara. Yeah. But when I'm at a coffee shop, I feel like people are looking at me. I gotta study. Like, you know what I mean?
Look like you're doing something.
Yeah,
if you have the laptop out, and
you gotta be
coffee shop,
working.
You gotta be doing something.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
No, I get that. But I studied at the library.
So you're a library
a lot.
girl.
However, if I would get exhausted, I wouldn't push myself. I would go home and study in bed. However, I didn't feel as effective because then I'm like, laying in bed on my phone.
Yeah. Okay, so when you do treat yourself, are you a Netflix or a nap? Are you a napper?
You know, I was in law school.
Really?
I was in law school.
I can't nap.
No, I was never a napper. And then law school, I found myself so tired all the time.
Yeah.
And I would, like, just fall asleep randomly. But then it would mess up the rest of my day.
Yeah.
I feel like now I like Netflix. Because if you just put, like, a mindless show on, you know, you're not thinking about much.
Yeah, fair. Okay, last question. If for burnout breakthrough, so what helps you kind of recover fastest? Talking to friends or complete alone time?
I think you need your complete alone time.
I think so too.
I think you need
because your
you
social
need it.
battery will burn out just as fast as your mind will.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that I'm burned out from work, and it's not work; it's my social battery. And
you just
that's
need
the
a
nature
second.
also sometimes of law, depending on what you do. But you are talking to people a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, sometimes I'm just like, I want to just like scroll through TikTok and turn my not say a word.
Yeah, sometimes you just need like that time to yourself, not to speak to anybody.
Yeah.
And just again, kind of like sit with your thoughts. And
Yeah.
be like, all right, I need to just relax. Because
Yeah.
even when you're not talking about school or work or whatever, if you're talking about like other things, your mind's still going. You're still you just need a second to
100%.
just to yourself.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. 100%. I mean, in all, I think the best way to kind of understand burnout, the biggest thing is balance.
Balance. It's huge.
It's you just, as much as, and let's start by saying everyone's burnout's going to be different. Mm-hmm. Everyone's burnout's going to be different. I'm a crazy example of that. You are too. We always have a million things going on all the time, and we're okay with it. So we might have it take longer for us to burn out. But at the end of the day, there is that balance of okay, I have my bucket for school. I have my bucket for work. I have my bucket for podcast. I have my bucket for social life. No matter what, you got to have that bucket for yourself.
Yep.
That's just complete. Like, I'll make sure if I've had a crazy hectic week, I'm going to go get a massage.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, whatever I need to do, I'm going to get something that does nothing
something
for
for
anyone but
yourself.
for myself. And that's so
Yeah.
important to have that balance, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. And I think that being busy 24/7, like, you can burn out easily.
Yeah.
But if you want to look at it in like a good way too, like, I think I've told you this before.
Mm-hmm.
I love being busy because I get a lot of things done.
Me too.
Now, when I have more time, I procrastinate.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can do that
Yeah.
on Sunday. I have days to do that.
Yeah.
But when I have things like set and planned and I got to be at a certain spot
Yeah.
at a certain time, I'm like, I got to get this reading done or
Yeah.
I got to get this work done
And I think
before I go.
that's a great point that, like, I want to emphasize, like, when we're talking about burnout here, like, we're not like, busy doesn't equal automatically being burnt out.
Yeah.
Being burnt out is being so busy that you're not taking a second to
yourself.
breathe.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's the difference, right? Like, you
Yeah.
can totally be busy and not burn out. Also, like, sometimes I think that burnout's just an easy way for people to be like, oh, gotta walk away, I'm burned out. Like, for me, I don't think that way. I think that, like, burnout is just like, oh my God, I have so much going on. I just need to take a step out. I should
Yeah.
take one step back. Like, for us, our solution for burnout, like we said this week, was just like,
Yeah.
let's just have a chill podcast day. Like,
Yeah.
let's just talk. Like, and it's gonna be different for everyone, but I think
Yeah.
the moral of it is just that balance.
And even like the other day, me and Katie were on the phone and we're like, should we like film tonight for the podcast? And I was like, I got my hair done. I was
Yeah.
all ready. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm so shot right now. I am so tired. I had my reality TV on that I never
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
in my life. All of a sudden I'm doing that now. And I was like, I think we just should like take a night, like take
Yeah.
a break, like let's just, you know, like spend some time for ourselves.
Yeah.
And like sometimes that's what you need. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And I think for me and you, like you said, everyone's burnout is gonna be different. I know me and Katie had bonded when we first met over the 500 million things we do at once.
Yeah.
Like whether it's socially, for school, for work,
Yeah.
just running around, traveling, always having like a plan or just doing something fun on the weekends.
Yeah.
But you it's fun to do those things and it is possible. And it is possible to do a lot
And I think
without
you should.
burning out.
I think you should. Like, I think that's actually a way not to burn out too.
Yeah.
Is like a big thing is like incorporating non-school
Yeah.
activity, like hobbies, like doing things that are
100%.
not
Yeah.
to do with school is so important. It's just the finding that balance between
Yeah.
it, and I think it's being mindful. Like, there's a lot of the big one too, like setting realistic goals with yourself. Like, the more realistic your goals are, the less likely you
Yeah.
are to burn out, because then you're reaching that goal, and then you can take a minute to reflect
Yeah.
and set another goal. So for
You
sure.
just don't want to lose yourself in the process.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway from
Yeah.
today's episode is balance and don't lose yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Just reflect on what you need.
Yeah,
to
I think
make
after
yourself
this
happy.
episode, or like take a minute, pause the episode, and
Yeah.
like just think about it. Like, reflect for a second and say, okay, am I working towards these goals that I wanted? Do I have those goals? And do I mentally and physically feel like I'm running off fumes? And if you are, do something for yourself today. Like,
Yeah.
do anything for yourself. It can be, and everyone says it, it's such a cliche, but it can be as simple as buying a coffee. It can be as simple as like
Wait, how do you say coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee?
What do you say?
Coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee?
Maybe coffee. Sometimes I mimic her accent.
Can you tell
accidentally.
who's from Canada and
And
who's
who's
from
from
Jersey?
Jersey?
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Yeah, either way, it's just like doing that little cliche thing. And like everyone says it, but it's just doing something small for yourself every day to do that for yourself today. As small as it can be, by getting a coffee or by calling a friend or by, I used to love this, hard when you live in New York, but like get in your car, blast music and drive. Like, who cares? Do anything for yourself. Try to do one thing for yourself today if you're feeling that like I'm on fumes. But other than that, I think like we touched on really good points. Realistically, the main thing is like find your balance.
Yep, find your balance and don't lose yourself in the process.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're gonna move into just a couple of legal headlines. I'll let Nicole go first, and then I'll go ahead and do the updates on the Pdiddy case because there's obviously so much to get into. But you take it away for the first one.
All right, so something that I found interesting was the Baby, a rapper. He had settled a civil lawsuit over a 2020 incident in which he allegedly attacked a property manager during a music video shoot at a Los Angeles mansion 2 months after he took a plea deal to avoid jail time over the episode. So now the civil battery lawsuit has settled, which I found really interesting.
Wow.
So we will link that below if you're interested in learning more.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. I mean, it's a music video shoot. Huh.
Crazy.
Okay, so the next one is so interesting. So, what can Brat Green tell us about the future of trademark and law culture? So, this is actually such an interesting article. I will link it down below, but it explores the cultural significance of Brat Green, a color that was obviously popularized by Charlie XCX, and its implications of trademark law. So, as a fashion brand adopts Brat Green in their marketing, there's legal questions that arise regarding color ownership and the trademark distinctiveness. So the article talks about the color talks about that for a color to be trademarked, it must be acquired. It must have acquired secondary meaning over time, indicating a specific source for consumers. So this situation reflects the ongoing trends in fashion law and highlighting the evolving relationship between the culture and the legal protection. So I think this is interesting because I know I talked about it. I actually learned it from one of our professors. Shout out Professor T. That said, so a color that's trademarked is the pink in T-Mobile because it's such a common color that everyone associates that color with the company, Tiffany blue. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because that has had such a grow to fame, that color, and everyone sees it and thinks of Charlie XCX. So I'm going to be curious about how that plays out.
Yeah. And that's so new. I mean, that just happened, right?
Yeah.
In the past couple of months this summer.
Yeah, I know. Well, and then that's the weird thing because so the company that is Loft, a women's clothing brand, and they're using that in their marketing scheme, and they were trying to figure out, okay, does people see that color and think Brat by Charlie XCX?
Yeah.
But because it's so new, it's going to be interesting how that lawsuit plays out and kind of how that may possibly change the trajectory of trademarking colors. So interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes.
Yeah.
So our next headline is going to be Dolce & Gabbana. So they are facing allegations of fraud that are relating to the brand's NFTs, which we saw NFTs go crazy a couple of years ago.
COVID,
it was a huge thing.
Yep.
So the plaintiffs claim that the luxury fashion house misrepresented the value and ownership of the digital assets, and the situation raises significant questions about the intersection of fashion, intellectual property, and digital assets. So we could see where this case is gonna go. I'm excited too to see this one.
I didn't even know Dolce & Gabbana had NFTs. So
no, I didn't know either. You know, I tried learning about NFTs a lot when they were first happening, and then I feel like they just fell off, kind of.
I think they're just less in the public face.
No, I agree. I think they're less in the public eye.
Yeah.
People aren't talking about them as much as they were. But yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting to see NFTs come back up and to see where it takes this luxury fashion house.
Yeah. I mean, Dolce & Gabbana is a big brand, so
huge brand.
I'm interested to see, but yeah.
All right, tell me what's going on with Pdiddy, because
Okay.
that's all over the news.
Yeah, there's a lot with Pdiddy. Okay, so everyone kind of knows what's going on, but basically, most recently, there has so the first thing is that there's new allegations that have surfaced of sexual misconduct that have been brought against Diddy. 120, we said.
More.
Yeah. Crazy.
120.
So it's obviously
more.
expanding the scope of the case. There's witness testimony. So there's several individuals that have come forward now with supporting evidence from both sides, causing obviously a media frenzy around what claims are true, validating these claims. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that list of the celebrities that are also involved. So it's getting pretty crazy.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Really
nuts.
interesting.
It's gonna be nuts. So there is obviously settlement talks. There are rumors that surface the negotiations under the way, but nothing has been confirmed publicly. I mean, everyone says feds don't lose, right? So that's if they're going in,
Yeah.
you know they're going in with something strong. So I'm really excited. It's not the right word, but a little bit excited to kind of see this case turn out. The legal strategy. So right now, Diddy's legal team is reportedly preparing with more, obviously, of an aggressive defense, possibly looking to discredit the plaintiffs. But the court findings, there's new court documents that have been submitted outlining further details on the accusations in the defense's rebuttal. And this is obviously going to have an enormous industry impact.
Oh, huge. This is going to be huge on the industry.
I think the reason why this is such also hot topic news is because of how many high profile individuals are in this case. So this is going to be
people I would never think their names are just popping up all over social media.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting to see what is true and what is just on social media.
100%.
So that will be when we hear this case like play out. We'll see what's actually happening
Yeah,
in it.
because some of it's crazy. Like, I don't know, did you see all the bottles of baby oil
I
and
did
just
see
like
that.
all people coming out
Yeah.
saying the certain kind of drugs were at all of these parties. So if you a little bit more background on the case, I guess, is he would throw these parties where a lot of the sexual misconduct has been allegedly taken place. So the big hot topic is going to be what, because I guess where the line is being drawn is, yes, these celebrities have admittedly partied with Diddy, and the question is, were these celebrities, or what celebrities were around when all of these issues of sexual misconduct occurred?
Who knew what was going on? Who didn't know what was going on?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
all-
it's crazy. Usher, I know, deleted all of his Twitter. I don't know if did you see
he?
that? Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter, so
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So that was like hot top news, because it's almost like it doesn't look great. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
you're
Start deleting things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like that can never be a good thing. So very interesting how it's gonna play out. But
Yeah, this will be really interesting to see how it plays out. So
Yeah.
we will also link that below. Obviously, you can find that in a lot of spots.
Yeah, you can
but
find
we
that.
will link an article below if you want to read more on
yeah,
it.
amazing. So that is all the headlines. But we just want to thank you guys so much. This has been a great episode. I feel like it's been so nice to just sit down and chat and have like a little bit of a real conversation and touch on some super important legal news today. Kind of keep you guys updated and get we're more informed now about it. So that's super interesting. But yeah, I think it was a great episode.
This was a great episode, and I hope this episode helped you if you're going through burnout right now.
Yeah.
I know it helps me.
You're not alone. I think that's the other big thing. Like, we all are going through it, but I think it's just how to overcome it.
Oh, Siri's talking.
It's fine.
Siri wants to listen to
Yeah.
the podcast too.
I think
but you're
ju-
not alone. I agree
Yeah.
with that. You're not alone, and I hope this really helped. I know I'm gonna take all these takeaways from it,
Yeah.
and just kind of think to myself, right, what do I need to do
Yeah.
to take better care of myself?
100%. But in the meantime, you know the drill. We will see you next Monday at 9 a.m. for the other episode. But in the meantime, follow us on all our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and everywhere you listen to your podcast. In the meantime,
And don't forget to stay sharp, stay stylish, and
stay legal.
bye.
Bye.
Guys.